Welcome to Comic Run. This may be our first or second episode. My name's Kent. Matt.
You're Matt. Justin. Smallville Man fan film showed up on YouTube this week. It's about 150 drawings. It's done in the, what do they call it, the action comic book or the animated comic book style?
Animatic.
Yeah, animatic.
Black and white animatic.
Pretty cool. I watched it this morning, and it's set to a Foo Fighters song, but I don't know the name of the song.
Foo Fighters not the correct choice for soundtrack for Superman?
Yeah.
Except for There Goes My Hero, which wasn't the song that they played.
It kind of worked in parts, like the music matched up to the action, but I was like, why did he
just
pick
turn
this?
off the soundtrack?
It's all right. And I'm like, man, I wonder how many hits this guy could have gotten, and how much money he would have made on YouTube if he wasn't using third-party content that he's. Because the minute you do that, they're like, yeah, you don't get paid for this video. All the ads belong to us.
But thanks for enriching our site.
Yeah, thanks for getting us 1 million clicks. And yeah, I mean, the guy's gonna get portfolio hits out of it, and it's
great drawings.
Yeah, the drawings are amazing. I mean, considering
somewhat of a short storyline in there. You know?
Yeah, considering it's only 150, drawings, and obviously there's some frames in between where the stuff moves, but it gets a pretty good little story told. But yeah, I would have picked a different song or just gone with an instrumental theme. It's cool though. Some people that are really into the Foo Fighters will think it's cool.
You know I know neither of you guys watch Comic Book Men, the Kevin Smith show about his comic book store in New Jersey, but they the guy who runs that, Walter, is very adamantly against any sort of fan fiction, any sort of fan art or cosplay, because he's like, you don't have any control. Like, he really chewed out some chick who was wearing a Aquawoman costume and then going to a party, and he's like, you're gonna be there holding a beer, and like if you're hanging out on a lawn and some girl who's like hugely into Aquawoman comes by, like she's gonna see you like out smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, and that's not okay. Therefore, cosplay should not be allowed.
Sounds like that guy's way uptight.
Totally. But he's like, he's like, there are very few people that are gonna put on the costume and like make it look really, really good and respect it to the level that I think it should be respected to.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
He's a buzzkill.
Although, it was an entertaining enough segment on Comic Book Men that you're bringing it up right now.
Yeah.
Now, the fan film, what I thought was interesting.
So if we figure, I'm sorry.
The dedication at the end, did you catch who it was to?
No,
I only
Brad
halfway
Bird.
through.
So Brad Bird is the guy behind The Incredibles and Iron Giant, and it said something like, I think it's something about his family, and then also to Brad Bird, and he goes, for making Iron Giant the best Superman story ever. And I thought that was kind of clever.
Well, they did do the best Fantastic Four film called The Incredibles.
Yes. Better than any Fantastic Four movie that has come out or is being canceled currently.
No, it's not canceled, right? It's
I believe
they shelved it.
I think
they're doing a full rewrite or something.
I think it's the same thing as Ghostbusters 3.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So Fantastic Four gets two shelved movies in its lifespan. Not just one, but two.
Can we wish that the Silver Surfer crossover one was shelved? Because the second one was terrible.
I used to have the first appearance of Silver Surfer.
No, you didn't.
Picked it up at a garage sale, and I don't know where it is.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know.
So, Smallville Man, cool art. We question the music, but
if you're not doing anything at work, worth your time.
One thing I thought was kind of cool is that Jonathan Kent in it is pretty built. Like, he actually looks like a farmer who does a lot of lifting or shoveling or whatever.
Not Kevin Costner sacrificing himself on,
Hey, don't do anything super. Hide who you truly are. Superman.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should feel bad about it.
Well, and I don't read Superman comics a lot, so I'm used to like 80s Pa Kent, who was usually little old man kind of. And a lot of times he doesn't really look like a farmer. He's just kindly guy. And this one, he actually looks like he could probably kick your ass if he wanted to. And
Maybe
it's kind of cool.
Maybe Pa Kent
throws down once in a while.
Well, maybe he is just a kind. I mean, after you have a son like Superman helping out at the farm, I mean, you can fire all the farm hands. You don't have to really do anything anymore.
The thing that I take away from the Kent parents is when I used to watch the cartoon when I was a kid. There was one episode where, like, Clark Kent decides to do some hardcore detective work, like actual real journalism, and he's like, I'm gonna crack the case. But then there's a hit put out on Clark Kent, and so they blow up his car and he falls into the water, and then has to Superman his way out, so everybody just thinks he's dead.
Right.
And so the editor of the magazine, or the editor of the Daily Planet is, or was a cop, I can't remember which one, is calling his parents, and he's like, I'm sorry to say, but your son's been killed, man, and his car blew up. And she goes, He's like,
you don't sound upset.
She goes, yeah, I guess it just hasn't really set in yet. Well, all right, bye-bye. And like hangs up the phone, and then they pan out. There's Superman sitting at the breakfast table. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My identity's dead.
Old Superman stories are the worst. I haven't been following him in New 52, but I wasn't a fan of let's say his parents are dead so he can act like Batman more. So what else have we got on the list?
Ever watch The Flash?
Yes, I watched it last night. So Revenge of the Rogues. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Revenge of the Rogues, pause the video and go watch it. Okay, continue.
I don't know, I really like, I think that Heatwave and Captain Cold are two of the best actors, like that, they're really good villains,
Who are the guys playing those two? Because
they're from Prison Break?
I immediately was like, are those the brothers from Prison Break? Because they both had the buzz cuts and were yelling at each other, and I was like, I've seen these guys before, so I wondered that.
Did you guys notice Heatwave's burns all over his arms and body?
Yeah, they're nasty.
Surprisingly, not anywhere close to his face. Good for that guy.
Maybe he has his arms up over his face.
A couple of Ghostbuster references too.
Yes, crossing the streams.
And the tank that he was wearing with the wand.
Yeah. Now what bugged me about it was, we're gonna thermally treat your shields so that you can't get frozen to death by this guy who lowers people to absolute zero and shatters them. So what about our feet? What about if we peek our heads out behind the shield? We're just supposed to walk like we're supposed to do that wall of shields formation like Roman soldiers or something. And Captain Cold apparently couldn't figure that out either. He's like freezing them and their shields start to thaw out, and he looks like, well, they're still coming. Freeze the ground, moron.
Freeze the feet.
Freeze their feet, make them fall down.
Not to mention all the great jokes you could make after you've frozen their feet.
Everybody freeze. I'm out.
Let's go. Please see Batman and Robin for all of those references.
Chill out.
I did find, like, in terms of my my suspension of belief or suspension of reality, I really liked how when Heatwave's gun gets shot, and he's like, oh man, that they put in the subtle line of like, I'm really glad you made me learn everything about this gun so that I could repair it, because clearly we didn't build these and we stole them. That's probably, because my thought is like, well, I mean, clearly these guns run off of something, whether that's dry ice or whatever. So it's pretty smart that those guys were like, hey, we should probably, before we
should take these apart, figure out how they work.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, I was looking on Wikipedia for the backstory on those characters because I wasn't a long-time Flash reader or anything. That's actually a thing in Captain Cold's background, is they said that he memorized the make of the gun, and in one comic he rebuilt it from like basically Radio Shack parts in like a half hour. That he knows every piece and part of the gun, so he can build another one if he needs to, because he didn't develop the gun, he stole it. So somebody on the writing team actually is into the comics. The other thing I had trouble with is the police are like, oh, hey, supervillain showdown on the east side of town tonight. We better put up some barricades, make sure people aren't standing on that street, and we'll just stand by and watch. Like, wouldn't the first thing oh, hey, I'm the task force that was trying to capture the Flash last week till he saved my life. You know what? We should put snipers on all the roofs in that area of town. We'll just shoot these guys as soon as they get their guns out. But no, we're just going to let them throw down, cause a lot of property damage, maybe run up and down the street like maniacs. They all just stood there with their hands on their guns, like on their hips, like, I'm not sure what the protocol is here, sir.
Well, I think the commissioner at any sort of level like that would be, like, when that sort of thing happens, like, man, I have no... we got 2 dudes, one with a heat gun, one with a frozen gun, and one that moves faster than the speed of sound. Like, I'm out of ideas, guys.
Why has Flash never come up with that? You know what I should do? I should learn to throw knives. I should get a gun, run super fast, shoot at the guy, and then move again.
They're waiting for the Red Hood crossover. Here's what you need: a pair of guns.
Turns out guns work really well on all types of villains. Blam, blam, blam. Look at that, problem solved.
You just shot that guy. Yep, no more problems from him.
And that's why you don't get a lot of Punisher recurring villains.
Okay, comics in review. We just left the comic shop. What did Matt? You struck out this week.
Struck out this week.
He's the striker of Oust.
What were you looking for that you did not get?
None of my titles came out this week.
Okay.
No Squirrel Girl. No Captain America.
You're reading Squirrel Girl?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this comic, but
have you ever seen Squirrel Girl?
Yeah, I think I
the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So she's a character that Steve Ditko, I guess, and they made her in the 1990s, the grim and gritty 1990s, and her whole joke was, hey, let's do something that's like bubbly in 1960s. And so she shows up to help out Iron Man, and her power is she can talk to squirrels, and she's got,
oh my gosh,
she's got a knuckle claw like Wolverine, but it's even though much more adorable. You know, she was kind of done as a joke character. She became fairly popular and shows up, and she's noted for being able to defeat any villain ever.
Okay.
Period. She's beaten Doctor Doom, Thanos, Galactus.
Is this a mini series or is it an ongoing?
It's ongoing.
Okay. That's
weird. You know what? It's funny. It's kind of like Deadpool. You know, not as dark humor, but it's, you know, pokes fun at the
Rocket.
whole
It's the
deal. Yeah.
All right, Kent, what'd you get?
I got Batman Eternal.
Because this week must be about Batman.
It does have Batman in it, but it also has what is apparently Gotham's newest hero, which I have no idea who it is, or and I just pulled like the middle page, and it doesn't reveal her name, but she's got blue hair and kind of a Nightwingian-esque mask.
She's
We'll figure that out on the back end. I got Batman and Robin, which Damian's alive again, and invincible. So the cover is...
Oh, well, that's fun.
The cover is of him doing a superhero of the Superman thing, where he's ripping open his suit to reveal the Robin uniform, and a bunch of bullets flying off of him because he can't die anymore. And I also got Twilight Zone #1. I was a big Twilight Zone fan, so...
I didn't realize there was a new run of that.
Nope.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
So,
is it in black and white?
No, this one's in color. So, first issue, we'll see how that goes.
I love all those old EC comics and Twilight Zone. Anything that's like an anthology, and at the end of everything, there's a twist. Yep. I just love that.
You didn't see that coming. And I picked up the Megatron Origins off of the Scratch and Dent shelf, which our comic book shop has 50% off Ding and Dent books because they're a mail order house. So that's kind of cool.
I hope the origin of Megatron is that someone's literally just manufacturing them. It's like putting them together like a Lego kit.
No, Megatron was a gladiator. That was his thing. He's fighting for the rights of the repressed worker class. He's a communist, basically. He rises up to fight the Autobot governors. He doesn't like them.
We're convinced that some of my son's toys are communist. Like that one day they're going to be, you know, work hard for the proletariat worker. Wait, what did it say? Never mind.
All right, so another funny video we saw this week: the Kickstarter video for the video game Strafe.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's I think I kept seeing it described as the most '90s thing ever.
Was that so? Was that the original? That was not a cartoon. That was not a commercial for the original game. That couldn't have been.
No,
right?
this is a brand new game, and they are making it to look like 1996.
Oh, is that what it is?
Or 98?
Yeah. So we've gone through all the 1980s like Mega Man retro versions. We have now entered 1990.
So they're trying to make it look like Doom, Duke Nukem, System Shock, Quake, and so they're deliberately rendering everything, kind
of the Oculus, right?
It runs on everything, but it has Oculus support. And so the big deal is it's a roguelike in that every time you play the maps change. So you'll never play the same level twice. But you pick one of 3 guns, you start adventuring, you pick up other guns, you fight monsters. But the demo video shows the kid completely fiending out on it and shoving his little brother out of the way.
It reminds me of an old Sega commercial.
It does. It looks like somebody just needs to put on a power glove and go, it's so bad.
It's incredibly violent.
And it gets incredibly gory at the end, and I was really disturbed by the point where the lady's scraping the giblets up. I was like, oh!
Of her dead son, screaming, why did you do this to him?
Yeah.
Why did you do this to him?
And the monitor in that video is a Gateway 2000, I don't know, it's probably like a 15 or a 17-inch CRT.
Oh, they did a great job.
I owned that monitor, that exact monitor.
Did it ever punch you in the face?
No, it never punched me in the face, and it never made my head explode because of the violence in my game. You know what else bugs me about it is when the little kid, his brother, blacks out, and then he plays the game, the mouse pad is completely covered with blood, and he's just smearing the mouse around on the desk in blood, and I'm like, ew, that's just nasty.
You mentioned the Power Glove. Did you see the video from the guy from Robot Chicken?
No.
So he was working on Robot Chicken, and they pretty much lock him in a room to fit it, to cut the whole thing and however
they lock him in a room with his dolls, and he just sits there by himself, moving his doll slowly but surely.
And replacing
take a picture, move my doll, take a picture,
mouth looks and replacing eyebrows, and just going through and getting 5 minutes of footage. So he's like, man, I keep running over to the computer and going capture and then going back and forth. If I really had some sort of handheld device that had a back and forth and a numerical and then a couple of just regular buttons that I could push to do things, that would be great. Wait a minute, I have that. It's called the Power Glove.
So you got an NES to USB adapter?
No, he had it retrofitted with a Bluetooth, and then he had it pulled out.
He's wireless, man.
His wife's brother is a electrical engineer, so the guy's like, well, yeah, we can pretty much Bluetooth's really simple to just make these random commands, and then we can just build a program to see them all. And so he got the whole board redone, and it works perfect for him, where he'll be moving something and then just has to put his finger over and go back, forth. Okay, that doesn't work. Back, forth, capture. Next.
Oh, Lord.
And then he's like, and he's going through and talking about how all the intricate things about it, and then he goes, and of course when I hit the knuckles, he goes, fucking cool. It's like, yeah, so we got that going. Oh man. Alright, what else we got?
What else we got? Simon Pegg is apparently set to co-write Star Trek 3.
Did he write Shaun of the Dead?
Yes, he wrote the Cornetto trilogy, and what was the other one? I'm trying to remember. He's done 3 or 4. Oh, the series. He's a huge Trekkie. Loves it, and that's why he wanted to play Scott. Scotty's so bad on the new ones, and he's paired with another writer who worked on, I think, a couple different, like a cop show and something else, and so the other writers is very well recognized. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but apparently Pegg's going to provide the humor and Trek elements to the other guys' competent writing.
Do you think we're going to get an actual science fiction commentary on something rather than retro nostalgia?
I don't know. I like the first one a lot. I like the future retro look.
The sets were all cool. The designs were cool.
The story was very actiony, but I mean, so was the original series when you look at it.
Yeah, but all the action was hung on Like, let's take this concept and explode it and explore it. And,
Yeah.
hey, here's something going on in our world right now. And man, there wasn't anything like that in the new Wrath of Khan. And anything that they did try to tag onto it didn't matter. It was just a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I felt like Wrath of Khan, or not Wrath of Khan, the Into Darkness.
Oh yeah, Into Darkness.
I felt like Into Darkness felt more like a Michael Bay movie to me, in that there was a lot of exploding, and we're going fast in space, and we're gonna crash the ship and then fight on a garbage truck, and I was like, what?
Hey, we can teleport halfway across the galaxy now. So why? What? We don't really need these spaceships, do we?
Yeah.
Like all sorts of these, like just awful things.
So I hope the third one gets back to the roots. There's not a dinosaur. You didn't see that.
There's a dinosaur back there.
I hope they discuss Bones' miracle life serum.
No.
Actually, that's what they need to do. They need to take a hit from Miracle Day from Doctor Who, and that needs to be the third movie. Is that now no one dies? Is Bones is a rich millionaire.
I cured everything.
Bones is a rich billionaire because he's just like, oh, no, want to live another year? Here, take some of the truth.
Bones, why did you cure everybody? I didn't want to listen to them whine.
No,
get out of my sick bay.
We can call it Star Trek. No more
doctors. You can sit in an anechoic chamber and not have to listen to anyone except your own heartbeat.
I've been watching Enterprise. I really like the character of Dr. Phlox.
He's okay.
You don't like him?
He's all right. Yeah.
He's up there with the Holodoc.
Not that good.
Well, we're back at work, so that's the end of this week's podcast.